Off the Cuff is supported by Patreon. Subscribe today and get exclusive member content, in-episode credit, and fun off-the-cuff merchandise. Hi everybody, and welcome to another episode of Off the Cuff. I know what you're thinking. Yeah, you're thinking, why is Craig holding 2 heads of cauliflower? Well, it's because of the old saying, 2 heads are better than 1. I'm here all week. Actually, it's for today's recipe. For today's recipe, I'm actually going to be doing a dish that was suggested via email. A very strange email and a Skype call, but I'll get to that later. The suggestion I got was to make shepherd's pie, but not only that, a low-carb shepherd's pie. Now, if you've never had it before, shepherd's pie is a wonderful dish. It's made with ground meat, veggies, spices, and it's topped with mashed potatoes and baked until that's golden brown and absolutely delicious. One problem, it's kind of high in carbs. Yeah, potatoes, yeah, that'll do it. So that's where these come in. I'm going to put these down now. Today, I'm going to use this cauliflower to make mashed cauliflower. And not just any mashed cauliflower, my secret recipe mashed cauliflower, which, if you do it right, people will not know it's cauliflower. That's how good it is. And I'm going to use that and make a low-carb turkey shepherd's pie. You can use whatever meat you want. I'm using turkey. And to be honest, this recipe is a little personal to me. My mom was Irish, and one of her favorite dishes of all time was shepherd's pie. And this is based on her recipe. It's an homage, and I believe that my mom would love this, even low-carb style, because I do, and I know you will too. So, about that email. Yeah, I got a very interesting email, and then we had a Skype call. Yeah, and it's recorded, so I'll let it speak for itself. Here we go. Okay, so this week's recipe comes as a suggestion. It comes on an email from Mr. Clem Dimples from Mena, Alabama. Yeah, he wants me to do a recipe for low-carb shepherd's pie. Mr. Dimples has some good taste. Yeah. So what we're going to do is I'm going to meet Mr. Dimples via Skype. I've already started the call. It should start any minute. And we can talk about how he came to the decision to ask me to make a low-carb shepherd's pie. I think we are connecting right now. Clem, can you hear me? Mr. Dimples? Clem?
Are we on?
We're on.
Whoa. I've never been on TV before. I'm a bit nervous.
Just relax and be yourself. So how are things going in Mena?
It's pretty quiet now that they're gone.
Okay.
Yeah. It was wild here for a bit. Those visitors made quite a ruckus.
Visitors made a ruckus?
Yeah, it was crazy. But then again, if they didn't visit, we wouldn't be talking.
I don't think I understand.
You know, the visitors. The aliens.
Aliens?
Uh-huh.
You mean like illegal aliens, right?
Yep.
Okay, good, because for a
Illegal
while...
space aliens.
Oh,
They landed right over yonder. I was just minding my own business. And actually, truth be told, I'd stopped to take a tinkle, and then I realized I wasn't tinkling alone.
Okay, TMI, I thought this was supposed to be about a low-carb shepherd's pie.
It is. That's who gave us the recipe.
You're saying that aliens came from outer space and gave you a recipe for low-carb shepherd's pie.
And they told me to give it to you.
Okay, Clem, I'm not saying... I find that hard to believe.
I'm telling you the truth. Rufus, get over here.
Well, yeah, I know you're telling me the truth, but hey, maybe you were dreaming.
I wasn't dreaming. Rufus. This is my brother Rufus, and he saw the same thing. Right, Rufus?
I sure did. Hey, Chef Craig.
Oh, hey, Rufus. So wait a minute, you both saw the aliens at the same time?
You betcha.
Well, what did they look like?
They were all green and all slimy.
Yeah, like Kermit the Frog covered in Crisco.
Ouch. Why would they need low-carb food?
Well,
They were kind of chunky.
yeah, it was pretty clear they didn't have no treadmill on their spaceship. They had this unhealthy pallor.
Yeah, kind of like Paula Deen.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, good Lord. Well, anyway, I have the recipe, I have all the ingredients, and I'm going to make it on the show today.
That's great. They can't wait to see.
What was that?
I mean, they're probably still watching.
I'll never tinkle outside again.
Hey, Craig, can we say it?
Sure, go ahead, say it.
Here are the ingredients.
Okay, so it's time for the ingredients. One of the ingredients is mashed cauliflower. We have to make that first. And to do that, you take 1.5 heads cauliflower, 1/2 cup heavy cream, 1.5 tablespoons softened butter. My secret ingredient, 1/4 cup mashed potato flakes, and salt to taste. Now for the low carb shepherd's pie. 1 pound ground meat, I'm using turkey. 1/2 cup each of diced onion, carrot, and green pepper. 1 cup of beef or chicken broth. Since I'm using turkey, I'm using chicken broth. 2 tablespoons tomato paste, 2 tablespoons olive oil, 1 tablespoon coconut aminos, 1/2 teaspoon sea salt, 1/4 teaspoon black pepper, and the mashed cauliflower we made in the previous step. All right, first up, we're going to boil that water because we're going to make this cauliflower first. And while that's boiling, it's time to chop up our cauliflower. Chopping up cauliflower is it's as easy as it looks. And I just chop it up like this. Okay. Just chop, chop, chop. This is all going to go into the food processor. So I try to make the bits and the parts of the cauliflower as small as possible, but it's going to get mushy. We're gonna boil this till it's fork tender, and then when it goes into the food processor, it will be absolutely soft. Even the stem, yes, even the stems. Okay, now let's get this into our pot. Okay, this water is almost to boil, so that's okay. Now I had to transfer a lot of the cauliflower into this smaller pan to get it all in here. Okay. And but wait, there's more. I have to tell you, for our needs, this is probably going to be more cauliflower than we need, but I'd rather have more than not enough. Okay, as you can tell, the boiling has begun. Now, we want this to be fork tender or a little bit softer. If it gets too soft, if it gets mushy, we're going to end up making cauliflower soup. We want to have nice, fluffy, mashed cauliflower. Okay, we are there. This is mostly fork tender. Some of the stems aren't, but we'll work that out. Gangway for the hot stuff. Woohoo! There we go. And just let that drain for a bit. So now we start mashing our cauliflower. Just place it into the food processor. Just plane it first, and we don't want to overload it. And we go. We're going to pulse. Now I don't know if it's my processor, or whether it's part of making this, but I generally have to futz with this a little bit to get it in, to make sure all of the blade hits everything. There we go. Yeah, as you can see, it's starting to work out. All right. Now I'm going to run it. Okay, we turned down the sound on the machine. Let's pour in the cream. Just a little bit, not all of it. That's it. It's a start. As you can see, that's making an immediate difference in the quality of the cauliflower. Right now, we're going to add in some butter. Boom. Go. Oh yeah, that's working out nice. As you can see, it's getting fluffy. I don't feel any lumps. That's really good. Add in a little bit of salt, not all of it, just like half. Okay. Now it's time for the secret weapon. A little bit of the mashed potato flakes. I'm doing half. Okay, that should be it for this. Let's see. Oh, yeah. As you can see, there we are. I defy anyone to tell me it doesn't look like mashed potatoes for the cheap seats. There you go. All right, now that the mashed cauliflower is done, it's time to chop our veggies for our filling. You know, I gotta be honest, I'd like to chop food a little bit more professionally, but I just don't have the technique, and I think one pepper is going to do it. Next up, the onion. Cut this in half. Okay, and what you do is you take your knife and you take little cuts, but you don't go through the bottom of the bulb. You cut like this. Cut this down like that. And there we go. For a carrot, you cut it down the middle, like that. Cut it down the middle again. Just like that. And then we cut like this. For the interior of the pie are cut and ready to be sauteed. We are moving along quite nicely. We're going to preheat the oven to 400 degrees. Okay, while that's heating up, let's make the filling. Okay, we have about 2 tablespoons of olive oil heating in the pan. Now we put in our veggies and we saute them. Now I did use olive oil. You can feel free to use olive oil as well. However, if you want, you can use avocado oil. These are almost ready to add the meat. As you can see, the vegetables have reduced, and I think it's time to start throwing the meat in here. We're going to try to keep those veggies to the side of the pan while we cook the meat in the middle. This will take about another 5-6 minutes for it to get mostly brown. Let's put in some seasoning. Here is the salt, and here is the pepper. Looks like I seasoned my spatula more than my meat. I'm confident it will get in there. Now we're going to stir in the chicken broth. Here's the coconut aminos. I absolutely love coconut aminos. They have a great taste. Good alternative, less sodium alternative to soy sauce. All right, and now the tomato paste. All the ingredients are now in. If you want to get creative, you can. If you want to throw in some garlic, you can. Whatever you like. I'm happy with the way this is. And guess what? We're going to wait for this to boil. And while we do that, it's time for food facts. It is widely believed that shepherd's pie was invented in Ireland in the late 18th to mid-19th century. Its invention actually came out of necessity. It was basically to save and to preserve food. It was an amalgamation of scraps that people ate over the course of a couple of days and made into a pie. Surprisingly, this dish has become somewhat of a national treasure and rose in popularity. It still is today, and it's actually popular all over the world. But the true origins of the shepherd's pie go back a little bit further than that. Yeah, all the way back to the Neolithic... That's Neo from the Matrix. Right. Its origins go back to the Neolithic era. Yeah, or 9500 BC, so just a little while ago. Yeah, there the ancient Egyptians actually made meat pies, and they made it from oats, wheat, barley, and rye. They sometimes stuffed it with honey as well, and they cooked it over hot coals. The ancient Greeks had their version of a shepherd's pie. For their crust, they used a flour and water paste, which resembled a pie crust. They filled theirs with meat. They also cooked it over hot coals, and sometimes they fried it. As for the Romans, they took it a step further. They used meat and also fish. Now, for their crust, they used flour, oil, and water, but they did not eat their crust. They only used it to seal in the heat when cooking the pie. When it was ready to eat, they discarded the crust. Yeah, just threw it away. Sounds like a waste of food to me. Ah, my long wait has been rewarded. My Roman meat pie. Ah, now to discard this pastry top.
Watch it!
What? What are you yelling about? Karens everywhere. For the European version of the same pie of the era, they used butter and lard to make a very stiff dough, which made an upright pie. You know what they called it? Coffins. Coffins, yeah, that's appetizing. But basically it meant box or basket. I gotta tell you, even way back then, lard and butter got a bad rap. In 1791, the first reference to a cottage pie appears in Ireland. Now, this dish was created by Irish peasants to stretch their food. Normally, on a weekend, they would have a roast. What was left over, especially with the meat, they would mince up, then mix with vegetables, cover it with mashed potatoes, and bake it into a brown, golden, delicious pie. Yeah. Now, this recipe was passed on from home to home, family to family, cottage to cottage, on the Irish countryside, hence the name cottage pie. The cottage pie was extremely popular. The main ingredient was lamb or mutton. Why, you may ask? Well, first of all, lamb was plentiful, and most Irish lower class or working class couldn't afford beef. That brings us to 1854, when shepherd's pie got popular. Shepherd's pie is very similar to cottage pie, only it's made with beef. The amazing thing about shepherd's pie is it's so incredibly popular, and it was made from leftovers. Yeah, that's pretty impressive. And I was thinking, the United States in the 1950s, could a really popular dish be made from leftovers? No, I don't think so. Honey, what's this?
It's Swanson's pie.
Swanson's pie?
Yeah, I took the leftovers from the last 7 days of TV dinners and I made a big pie.
I want a divorce. As I said earlier, shepherd's pie is popular all over the world, and its creation has spawned offshoots and variations in different countries in different places. Well, in England, there's the potato pie. Yeah, now it's basically meat and potatoes baked into a pie. The big difference? No veggies. Then there's the Cumberland pie, which is made with either beef or lamb. They use breadcrumbs and cheese. Ooh, that sounds delicious. Then there's the shepherdess or shepherdless pie. Yeah, shepherdess is better. Shepherdless sounds really depressing. Anyway, this is a pie that's made with no meat. It's a vegetarian pie. In the Netherlands, they have philosopher's stew. It's made with beans, apples, prunes, and applesauce. Quite an explosive combination. I guess you could say it keeps them going. And from England comes the fish pie. Whoa! It really doesn't look like that, does it? That's better. Yeah, it's basically what we've been talking about, only made with fish. Oh! Stop showing that! And finally, and I left this one for last, they have the St. Stephen's Day pie, which is made with turkey and ham, which is closest to what I'm making. I'm making a turkey shepherd's pie, but you might call it a turkey Stephen's Day pie or whatever. It doesn't matter. However you like your pie, whether it's a cottage pie, a shepherd's pie, a fish pie, whatever. Enjoy, because shepherd's pie has spawned thousands of variations which we can all enjoy. And that's Food Facts. Okay, it's been simmering about 5 minutes. I would say it probably has 5 more minutes to go before it's ready. Maybe 10. Okay, this has been simmering around 10 minutes or so. And most of the liquid has been, well, there's still a little liquid left. I'm going to wait 5 more minutes, and then we're going to build our pie. Okay, our filling is ready. Now it's time to assemble our pie. Start off by putting your filling in the bottom of a pan. I don't have a gigantic pan for all of this. We'll see how much I can fit. If I can fit all of it, great. If not, I'll just do a second one. Oh. This looks amazing, and we're not even done. All right. I'm going to move this aside for now. There's our layer of filling. Now we take our gorgeous our cauliflower, and we put it on top. Like that. Don't be shy, I got plenty. You want to be gentle so as not to mix like I just do over here. Start by pressing it down, and it will find its way to the corners. Yeah, this would be a good time if if you're cooking with your spouse or friend, it's time to have a mashed cauliflower fight. That's what I always say. But do that with the leftovers. Let's make this first. I am a klutz when it comes to doing anything artistic, but that looks pretty good, huh? Once again, for the cheap seats. Okay, just gonna put a little more in. Now off to the oven for 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, preheated to 400 degrees, middle rack. 10 to 15 minutes. I'll check it at 10. And also, I might finish it in the broiler. We'll see how it comes out. And here we are. Low Carb Shepherd's Pie. Made with my own recipe from mashed cauliflower and turkey, and oh boy, this looks so good. My only critique is I could have kept in the broiler a little longer, but I couldn't wait to eat it. The carbs, they're all from veggies, from cauliflower, from the carrots, the onions, the peppers. They are not, they're negligible. They really are. If this was made with mashed potatoes, you'd be looking at a carb-heavy dish. This is excellent. It's filling. It looks so good. I think my mom would be proud. And you know what? I don't care if it came from aliens or not. This looks great. So I'm going to actually try some right now. Oh yeah. Okay. Here we go. Oh, the creaminess of the mashed cauliflower. It tastes just like potatoes. The meat is salty. You can taste the onion, the pepper, the carrot. They're all there. The broth makes a really nice sauce. It goes all throughout the meat. Really, really delicious. Very, very satisfying. But I'm not sure. I'm not. I'm going to take another bite, as they say, for quality. Yeah, because you never know. Maybe the first one was an accident. No accident. It's absolutely delicious. It's so satisfying. The creaminess of the cauliflower mixed in with the meat. What a great texture. It is fantastic. Wow. You're going to love this. It's great for lunch. It's great for dinner. I totally recommend this. Thank you for watching. I'll be here again next time. Until then, be well, eat good. On the next episode of Off the Cuff, I make a healthy version of my favorite snack food. And the snack food we're talking about is potato chips. The Off the Cuff Superfan is announced. Okay, you know, you can be a little louder if you want. It's okay.
Yeah!
Food Facts hits the information superhighway. Everybody loves chips. Air-fried potato chip. I am in absolute heaven. Join me for Off the Cuff Healthy Cooking with Craig Mitchell. Alternate Sundays at 7:30 p.m. right here on